Well, I thought I'd get a couple of days away and head up the beach. And then I thought when I got here, I thought, it just puts me in that special place. I thought, why not go through the rooftop tent I put up on top? Because I've been using it for the last probably 4 months, and I've used it all over the place. And I've used it in cold weather, warm weather, icy weather, you name it. And I thought, why not sit down, go through it, and just explain to you my thoughts on it. Well, as I said once before, I have to go through this awesome rooftop tent. Now this is the OZTENT Apex RT-P-1600. Now this one here doesn't do what the rest of them do, how they just come up on an angle. This goes straight up. Well, first of all, I'm going to set it up and take you through step by step. Now this is the ladder that comes with the rooftop tent. Now it works a treat, absolutely. But to streamline things for myself, because I'm doing a lot of travel, I'm going to use the one that's actually built onto the canopy to access the tent. One thing I do love about these, they're a compression latch, is as much as they're simple to do and adjustable, is the locking mechanism. So I can lock that so it won't come out. And that's what I do love. Another great feature is the aerodynamic profile, featuring a lightweight ABS and ASA top shell, and also a very strong lightweight fiberglass base for superior durability. You know, there's a few features that I really love about it. You know, not only you've got the access of 3 ways, you've got one on either side and one at the rear, but the great part about it is you've got basically 6 windows. Now, you've got 2 on the sides, and you've got 1 at the front, 1 at the back, and so the ventilation coming through and airflow is pretty good. Now, at the same time, you can zip all that up and you've got insulation because it keeps you warm, and when it blows a gale, I mean, it can blow a real gale and you don't feel anything come through the sides in any which way when you're all zipped up in there. So using this as an entry point to go up here, so all I'm doing is basically I can just unzip, and that Velcro is an extra locking feature of it. And then it rolls up as simple as that. You've got the feature of it where it comes down, becomes a door, but also becomes your window. Well, you might remember on the RTC 1400, I was talking about how good the stiffeners are. Now, same thing, it's built into this, because the last thing you need is one that's all floppy. But when you've got a stiffener in there, straight up, keeps it really simple. And of course, it's made of the ripstop poly cotton canvas, which is 8 ounces.
With the new OZTENT shoe bag accessory, your setup gets even smarter. Designed to keep your footwear clean and dry and out of the way. This is a convenient storage solution. A solution attaches seamlessly anywhere along the RT-P-1600's integrated T-slot rail system. It also fits the RTC 1400 as well. Thanks to its press stud design, attaching and removing the shoe bag is quick, simple and secure. No fuss, no tools.
And like all the OZTENT range, they use the midgie-proof screening, which works an absolute treat, which I've used for many, many years. And as you can see, it's a queen-size mattress and such spacious living in here. Underneath the mattress, right here, it actually has a condensation mat as well. And having a queen size mattress with a 70mm high density foam, which has a removable cover, pretty good. So as you can see the full ventilation all the way around me. So you've got great airflow up here. A couple of the main features that I wanted to point out is, so you've got 4 gas struts, 1 in each corner. You know, if you've got extra weight on top, if you've got real windy weather, you've also got these, they're locks. So if it was to actually come down or collapse or something like that, it locks it off. And so you've got 4 of those that go with there, and it's very simple. So they're just an on and off, unclip. The amount of pockets you've got something for everything. Now in here, this is a little pocket. This pocket's actually for your pull down. Now this is what actually pulls the roof down. You've got one either side, and then you're up that end as you're getting out, and you'll pull the front down, and then you'll push the back down as you clip it up. And you can do this from outside. You've got a couple of cup holders, so you can actually sit your cups in there. Both sides again, same thing. When it comes to an electrical system in a rooftop tent, I have never seen anything quite like this. You've got 2 fans you've got 2 reading lights, and then up the top, of course, you've got where you can put your iPad into here. You can set this down if you're wanting to watch something on the iPad or for the kids or whatever way you want to do it. But at the same time, up here is another shelf. Then you've got just over here a USB and a USB-C cable so it can run across to the iPad. So again, keeps it very simple. Now the control box has your 4 USB-Cs, as well as if you didn't have your own power supply that powers in from the outside. And so you get the USB-C, which can then go from your power bank into the command center. And then it will run just your LEDs that are around the top. It won't run the lights outside, and it won't run your reading lights. Now that's only if you don't have your external plug-in. Now to power up the Apex command center, you just use a 50 amp adapter. But as you can see in my case, I've actually hardwired it in so that it's plugged in all the time. Now the great part about the command center is it isn't powered up unless I push the button to turn it on internally or by the remote. Well, it's getting a little bit dark now, and as I was saying to you before, the Apex remote control wirelessly goes up to the Apex command center and it runs this whole rooftop tent, all the lighting, all the fans, everything in it. It's pretty cool. Now the great part about it is the lighting has its own internal memory, so however you've set it up, it'll come back on exactly the same way for you next time. You know, one of the key features is the sensor mode, and as you can see, as soon as I come out, it's got 270 degrees on all 6 lights up there, and they work like a spotlight as well, but it'll get every angle. And that's the great part, because you can leave them on at night when you go to bed. If something walks around, an animal, a person, whatever, they pop on. So it's pretty cool. Having the remote control, another cool feature is how I can actually dim these lights, and I can change them to suit, you don't want it so bright. You've got the orange lights for mosquitoes or insects, so they're not flying and fluttering around everywhere. But at the same time, I can just put it straight back to what it was. And as I was saying, like the great part about the interior lights, I can control them from downstairs or up here, but then I can turn them up, I can turn them down, and then also having this reading light for reading at night works an absolute treat, but it's just touch on off. So they're dimmable as well, so they don't have to be super bright. By just holding it on, they'll go up and then they'll go down. Another great optional extra is the Apex RT-P-1600 rear extension. Now it takes 3 poles to rope it down, but the shade it puts in and covers the back of that tent is great when the sun's beating in there. It works an absolute treat. And again, another great optional extra is the side awning, because not everybody has an awning on the side of their vehicle, and especially when you're set up for a few days in one location, it just makes for great shade and shelter. Now also, the poles are 2.3 metre poles, so in my case, I'm a very high vehicle, and on a lower vehicle, they're going to work a treat as well. Now the roof rack's an optional extra that you can get for these, which is great for like putting stuff up here, whether it's your chairs or Max Tracks or something like that, but it only adds an extra 6 centimetres to the height of the actual rooftop tent. Goes into these brackets, which are T-slots. And then they've added the sail track to it on this side, the other side and across the back, and that's for the optional extra awnings that you can add to this. Over the past 4 months, I've been testing out the RT-P-1600, which is that rooftop tent right behind me. Now, if you remember last time, I was out there checking out the RTC-1400, which was just your clamshell. I've gone through them. This one, I've used it in cold weather, warm weather, wind. I've passed through snow, been in a lot of rain. Now, I've had it up the beach a couple of times now, from Gari. Now I'm on Tiwa here. So I've had it in all sorts of conditions. And I've got to say, I've had no issue whatsoever with it. Now it's a setup that I would say is really suited to a couple because there's so much room in there. You've got a queen size bed for sake of argument, and you've got an awful lot of storage area. So there's plenty of all. You can sit up in there, no worries at all, at either end, doesn't matter. You can put your head at either end to sleep, it doesn't matter either. So the question is, what vehicle is this going to be best suited to? Now, of course it's going to be a bit heavier, but at the same time, it's a queen size bed. When you're sizing it up to see what's going to suit you. You've just got to make sure that your roof loading is going to handle that sort of size rooftop tent. But on a canopy, it definitely works a treat. On a trailer setup, it's going to work an absolute treat. A bigger vehicle, it's going to work a treat. You know, your bigger American vehicles as well, they've got some factory canopies that you can probably pop it up on top of as well. So all around, it's going to work well. Now, what I do love about it is what you can do is add to it, because it's got T-slots on the side of it. So meaning that they've created a set of roof racks that actually go onto it and mount to it. So you can put a solar panel up there. You can put, as you can see, I've got my Max Tracks up there. And everybody's going to have a different option, you know, whether they want to put a shovel holder on the side of it or all that sort of stuff. But also having the ability to add those extra awnings on makes a big difference, because for sake of argument, using the rear awning today, with the sun beating in this morning, it was a great shelter and shade to stop that. Everybody's got a different way of using their rooftop tent, and they've got different applications, whether they're traveling around Australia or whether they're going on a 1-month trip or a 2-week trip. It doesn't matter, but some people like to remove them and put them back on. So you've got to have that capability as well when you're thinking about putting on these rooftop tents, on how you're mounting that rooftop tent to your vehicle. And that's an insight and my view on the Apex RT-P-1600 that's behind me. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on an adventure soon.